Come and find a quiet center in the crowded life we lead. Find the room for hope to enter. Seek the frame where we are freed. Clear the chaos and the clutter. Lift our eyes that we might see all the things that really matter, be at peace, and simply be. Silence is a friend that claims us, cools the heat, and slows the pace. God it is who seeks and names us, knows our being, touches base. Making space within our thinking, lifting shade to show the sun, raising courage when we're shrinking, finding hope for faith begun. In the spirit, let us travel open to each other's pain. Let our loves and fears unravel. Celebrate the space we gain. There's a place for deepest dreaming. There's a time for heart to care in the spirit's lively scheming. There is always room to spare. Dear friends, wherever you are watching, whenever it is that you're tuning into this time, however you're doing, may grace and peace be with you. Over this season of social solidarity and physical distancing, we have often gathered on Wednesday evenings. Come and find the quiet center has been the invitation. We have gathered in prayer and practice, offering up versions of the daily examine, the Jesuit or Ignatian spiritual practice of looking back reflectively over one's day. Confident that as we pay attention, to moments of joy and connection, of moments of discouragement, hurt, pain, disappointment, that we can understand and come to be aware of the presence of grace, that we might hear the Spirit speak, the Christ within, the inner light, the inner knower, that we might become attentive and listen. We will share together again tonight in a version of this prayer. If you're a person who likes to write things down, I'd invite you to have pen and paper, maybe a journal with you, and to jot some notes down. If this is your first time, pray that this is a blessing for you. After this guided prayer and meditation, we will move into a time of sharing prayers. And if you have something specific you would like lifted up this evening, we'd invite you to write it in the comments below. Feel welcome as well, as folks are already doing, to greet one another through the comments. The daily examine is rooted in the principle that God, that the true self can be discerned, that the voice of Spirit can be listened to and understood and attended to in the midst of all the noise and confusion and wonder of our days. We are invited to pay attention to what Ignatius of Loyola called consolations. Consolations, not constellations. That's a whole other practice of great benefit itself. Consolations, moments of joy and connection, where we felt alive and excited. But also desolations, where we felt pain, where we felt our own pain, where we felt grief and glimpsed for a moment within our own selves the pain of the world. We pay attention to both of these things. Recognizing grace both comes in the beauty, but grace comes in embracing the brokenness of this world, in our own lives as well. We begin by settling. I invite you to find a comfortable space to be within your body, to come to an awareness of body and self, an awareness of the feeling of sitting. I like to sit in a straight way to create space in torso and abdomen. To breathe deeply. To breathe in the nose and into the abdomen. Becoming aware of our breath. Not trying to clear things out necessarily, but trying to come to a quality of presence in this moment. As we settle, we acknowledge how we're doing in our body, how we're doing in our mind, how our emotions are feeling. We don't try to quiet any of these things. We simply recognize them and sit with them. We need not come into these times of prayer feeling or thinking a particular thing. Part of the practice is to come and be. So I invite you to think back over the past day, maybe the past few days. What significant moments come to mind? In doing this, we don't necessarily reach, we simply look back. And we accept with curiosity whatever comes to us. Maybe it's a moment that immediately seems significant. Perhaps it's a moment whose significance may at first seem surprising to us. Why that interaction? Why that thought? Why that feeling? Starting to see our days laid out before us, we ask, where were my moments of connection? Was there a time today or in the past few days where I felt deeply alive? Where I felt that what I was doing was life-giving? Did I feel in a state of flow, of ease, of joyful communion? As we engage in this practice repeatedly, we might write down those moments and look back over weeks and months and recognize that which brings us to life. Where did I feel a sense of belonging? Where did I feel a sense of connection? Of true being? Was there somewhere I felt a sense of excitement? A moment captured by by the beauty of the world. Did I feel a moment of hope, a moment of potential? If you're able, where does the sensation of joy, of comfort, of connection live within you? Can you feel a sense of cultivating joy within the abdomen? Neurochemistry teaches that serotonin, that connecting hormone, 90% of it is created in our gut or abdomen region. The ancient Celts of the British Isles called or attended to something called the cauldron of belonging that lived within the human abdomen. A place of potential, of growth, of creativity. We now pivot and we ask about disconnection. Where were there hard moments today? Where were there moments that felt a struggle? Felt of grief or regret? Felt of hurt or woundedness? Felt pain? Were there moments of disconnection? We felt like true self was further away from where we'd like it to be. Do we feel the pain of the world? Something we heard or saw or read? Frederick Buechner wrote that where our deep joy meets the world's deep hurt, that it is here that we are called to love and to serve. So I wonder where we felt the world's pain today. I wonder where in our bodies we feel that sense of grief, that sense of pain, of discomfort. I wonder how we might learn to sit with it and hold it, to not seek to move quickly from the pain of the world, the pain of others, the pain of ourselves, but to accept it, to acknowledge it, even in some way to befriend it. To recognize in our discomforts and disconnection the potential for the Spirit, drawing us into something, building empathy, compassion. Continue to breathe deeply into the belly as we are able. Where might these moments of grief and regret point us to our deep longing of our own selves for wholeness, the deep longing of the world for healing, deep longing of God's shalom to be made realized, to be made enfleshed in us, in our relationships, in our societies. We pivot again in prayer. Gratefulness and gratitude for the insights from our own day. We then take a time of holding together prayers. I've been sent some things to lift up in prayer before, and I am inviting anyone who would like to add something in the comments to be shared in this time. We lift up prayers for Dorothy Kittleson at the Grace Hospice. With Carlos and family, we lift up prayers for Carol Olmos, receiving palliative care at home. Oh God, in your prayer, in your mercy, hear our prayer. We lift up prayers with and for Tristan DeRoche at the Walking with Our Angels camp at the Saskatchewan Legislature, for the communities that he holds within his heart and in ceremony there, for his strength and for movement from apathy to compassion and action from those who can make a difference, and all of us to add our voices to his and the voices of his community. We share prayers with teachers and educators and other employees of school boards and districts who look with concern for their own safety, the safety of the students they love, and the communities they are a part of, in the reopening of schools. We pray for those who seek to work to ensure that people are cared for and safe. We lift up prayers for folks within the community of Knox-Metropolitan United Church, working on reopening plans, but also those who offer gifts of leadership, for challenging decisions and difficult situations, for the grace to hold community gently and compassionately, to see one another as human, as those who hold the best for this community in heart, and for figuring our ways out of patterns of stuckness and challenge. O God, in your mercy, hear our prayer. We end tonight, as we have many of these Wednesday evenings, as we are able, by saying the words of a new creed of the United Church of Canada. We are not alone. We live in God's world. We believe in God who has created and is creating, who has come in Jesus, the Word made flesh, to reconcile and make new, who works in us and others by the Spirit. We trust in God. We are called to be the church, to celebrate God's presence, to live with respect in creation, to love and serve others, to seek justice and resist evil, to proclaim Jesus, crucified and risen, our judge and our hope. In life, in death, in life beyond death, God is with us. We are not alone. Thanks be to God. Again, dear friends, many thanks for joining us. Whether you're watching live as this goes on, or whether you're watching it in the coming days. However you're doing, wherever you are, whomever you are with, may grace and peace be with you.